The show begins with an open curtain on a stage with 3 empty circus platforms. It is June 2017, 6 months in the past. As the overture progresses, circus performers begin milling about, setting props, stretching, and otherwise preparing for the show. Bat Dingling approaches Regina Berry with a small wooden music box as she pets a lion, Leon. She spots him with a bright smile and wave, causing him to blush and hide the box behind his back. Mo Curls gives himself a serious pep talk in a funhouse mirror before making his way downstage. He dons an over-the-top smile to greet a crowd of fans, who are all actually headed to see Maximilian Galactica. Max showboats and signs autographs while Mo slinks off, dejected. Ben Woodman fights with a wooden puppet to get it to wear a bow tie. Russell Berry pats Acro Dingling on the shoulder with fatherly pride. Bat approaches, sheepishly still holding the music box. Acro shakes his head with a fond smile and ruffles Bat's hair. As the music swells, a voice from offstage yells, "Places, everyone!" The performers rush off stage and the lights go out. A spotlight reveals a single figure standing on the center circus podium. The ringleader, Russell Berry.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and all those between, beyond, and betwixt, I welcome you to a show that will leave you bewildered, befuddled, bemused, and transfixed. My name is Russell, and I'll be your guide to a world miraculous, magnificent, and merry. And for our first act, I'm proud to present my daughter, Regina Berry.
Come one, come all, come big and come small, no matter who you are. A wild world of wonders waiting for you, where everyone's a star. I tell ya, Mama taught me when I was a child, there's a bit of magic in all of us. So if you believe and follow your heart, one day you'll become a star. So let me tell you something, join our family and join in the fun. Our big top is big enough for everyone. Come and join me here, my friends, in a place where dreams will never end, and everyone's a star.
So gather round, you lovely folks, it's time that you meet the ones who make this show so grand. They'll make you laugh and keep you at the edge of your seat. So come on, let's all give a hand for Regina.
She tames animals, she's such a delight.
Max Galactica.
Watch him take flight.
Acro and Bat.
A team with such flair.
Ben and Trillo.
What an odd pair.
Russell Berry!
The owner of this humble show.
And Mo.
And
Come young, come old, come timid or bold, from near or very far. Whether prince or a pauper, a king or a fool, everyone's a you and your brother. Everyone's a no! Stop! Think of Regina!
Scene 2. Lights up outside Regina's dressing room on the outskirts of the Berry Big Circus tent. Phoenix Wright and Maya Fey enter.
All right, Maya, remember, this girl's dad just died, so we have to be gentle.
Oh, yeah! Phoenix Wright, Captain Take That, is gonna tell me to be gentle. Make any 7-year-olds cry lately?
Hey, that was one time, and that 7-year-old committed perjury.
A pause. Maya is about to add something, but Phoenix interrupts her.
Your cousin's 8, she doesn't count.
You realize you're proving my point, right? Are you sure you're a lawyer?
I don't know. Why don't you ask my attorney's badge? Take that!
He makes a show of presenting it to Maya.
Maybe I should leave the magic tricks to our client.
I don't know. I think you could learn a thing or two from Max Galactica. Just picture it. You fly across the courtroom, dazzling everyone with decisive evidence and your magic word, objection! Then your lovely assistant, Maya Fey, reaches into a hat and pulls out, what's that? A not guilty verdict! The crowd goes wild! Woohoo! Yippee!
Right, well, we can workshop it. In the meantime, we need to figure out who really killed Russell Berry, and that starts here.
He points to a name and a star on the dressing room door.
Regina Berry. What do we know about her?
Maya pulls out a steel samurai notepad and flips through to find the page in question.
Regina Berry, age 22. Daughter of the victim, Russell Berry. She's an animal tamer here at the circus, and according to our client, she's a sweetie pie princess who'd never do anything wrong in her life ever.
Right. Okay, remember. Gentle.
Phoenix knocks on the door to the dressing room. There's a small voice from behind the door.
Come in.
Phoenix and Maya enter. Regina is sitting at her vanity with her back to the audience. Her demeanor is unreadable.
My name is Phoenix Wright, and this is my assistant, Maya Fey. We are Mr. Galactica's legal team. We'd like to ask you a few questions about the death of Russell Berry. We're, really sorry for your loss.
Papa taught me when Mom passed away that there's a bit of magic in all of us. So there's no need for crying. The ones we love are here to stay. Papa's a star now. It's a bummer I can't see him for a while, but I know my dad is looking down on me from the sky. When you look up at night, you can see everyone who's gone. One day, we'll all be stars too. You could be poisoned or skewered or pushed to your death or shot in the heart or flattened by a speeding car. The dancer that drowned, the clobbered clown, the tightrope walker that hit the ground. One day they all became stars, not to mention that you could get strangled or a deadly disease, no matter how you meet your demise. One day all you lovely folk will starve or choke or have a stroke like Papa, you'll croak, and you'll go to the skies. The bucket is kicked and the dust has been picked. He just walked the farm. It's okay that Dad is dead, 'cause everyone's a star.
The background singers disappeared just as mysteriously as they appeared, with Regina cheering them and thanking them as they leave. Phoenix speaks in an aside to Maya.
Hey, Maya, you're a spirit medium, right?
Sure am.
So the people you work with are often grieving their recently deceased loved ones.
Yup.
Of those people, how many express their grief through fully choreographed musical numbers?
This is a first. Wait, you don't think she could have...
Before the pair can formally amend the suspect list, they are set upon by Regent the tiger chasing after Money the monkey. Money climbs up to hide behind Maya's shoulder, so Regent turns his attention to Phoenix and Maya, growling and baring his teeth at the intruders.
Ah! A tiger? Nick, do something!
What do you want me to do? Serve it a subpoena?
Regent, down. Don't be rude.
Regent reluctantly obeys, backing down to return to his perch in the corner.
Scared you there, didn't he? Isn't Regent such a cutie patootie?
Cutie patootie? He almost killed us!
No, don't be silly. Regent barely ever bites people. And besides, people normally never get to play with a wild tiger, right? So if you think about it, you're actually really lucky.
You keep a wild tiger in your dressing room?
Of course I don't keep him here. I take him lots of places. He loves meeting new friends.
Regent glares at Phoenix and Maya, never taking his eyes off his new friends.
Of course he does.
Maya scoops Money off of her shoulder and cradles him in her arms.
Oh, this poor little guy. Look at him. He's shaking.
Phoenix turns to look, making his attorney's badge glimmer. Money instantly transitions from pathetic creature to menace, leaping from Maya's arms, grabbing the badge, and darting off stage.
My badge!
Phoenix chases after Money, leaving Maya alone to make small talk with someone who might be a murder suspect, and her wild tiger.
So, how long have you been working with Regent?
About 6 months now? He's been my best friend ever since Leon died.
Leon?
Yeah, Leon the lion. He used to be my partner. We'd do this real neat trick where he'd open his mouth real wide and I stuck my whole head inside.
Whoa, that sounds so scary.
Nah, it's easy. I could teach you to do it if you want.
Really?
Of course. Someone as cute as you would be such a hit. You already have such a cute costume.
Oh, this isn't a costume. You're looking at the attire of a full-fledged spirit medium.
A spirit medium? I was right! You'd make an incredible heroine.
Really? You think so?
At this moment, Money runs across the stage. Phoenix, looking a bit disheveled, chases after.
These guys, don't even worry.
Maya calls after him.
Nick! Did you hear that? Me! A heroine! It must be so glamorous being part of the circus.
Oh, yeah. I love the spotlights and the applause and the flowers and the fan mail. But I have my own troubles, too, you know?
Like what?
Regina scoots a little closer for some serious gossip. Money and Phoenix chase across the stage once
Way
more.
more evolved than you, buddy.
Okay, so the other day, someone in the troupe confessed their love for me.
No way! Was it Max?
How did you know?
We just came from talking with him and he kept bringing you up. Anyone could tell he's head over heels for you. Do you like him back?
Oh, I don't know. He's fun and nice and super duper talented, but it's all a little complicated.
How so?
Well, I guess I never. I don't know if I. There's actually someone else I have a crush on.
Who is it?
Okay. Don't tell anyone, but he's actually a world-class tenor who performs here.
Whoa!
Phoenix returns, leaning over to catch his
Shouldn't
breath.
skip leg day.
Money is nowhere in sight.
Did it come this way?
Nope. Sorry.
Regina, can't you tell it to stay or something?
Oh, no, he won't listen to me. That's not my monkey.
What?
Money and I aren't really on friendly terms. He steals my costumes. And anything else that's shiny.
What does he do with it all?
Oh, he's got a big stash he keeps in Acro's room. It's in the lodging house down the road. You can't miss it. There's a whole bunch of police officers hanging around there right now.
Sounds like somewhere we should investigate anyway.
Thanks for your time, Regina. Let's go, Nick. Do you think we need to get you a rabies vaccine? That monkey's got something.
Scene 3. A snowy courtyard outside an unassuming building. A few police officers, including Mike Meekins, mill around and document evidence. Yellow police tape cordons off a crime scene, where a single set of footprints leads to the body of Russell Berry, lying slumped, face down. An ostentatious silk hat sits in the snow next to him, and a wooden music box sits beyond his outstretched hand, just past the police tape.
So, this is where the performers live? It seems so normal.
I guess even clowns need to sleep.
Ooh, do you think that stoogey clown will be here? I love him. He's so kooky.
Sorry, Maya, but I think he's probably only like that when he's on stage. Besides, we're here for another show right now. Dead Body, stage left.
The two make their way over to the police tape.
There's our victim, Russell Berry, dead from blunt force trauma to the head.
Maya spots the music box at her feet. She picks it up.
Maya, don't!
Ignoring the warning, Maya opens the box. A few tinny notes sound out, grabbing Meekin's attention.
Sorry, ma'am, I need to ask that you put that down and step away! We have to preserve the crime scene!
Maya closes the box and covertly pockets it.
Aw, come on! We didn't get to look at all!
No one is allowed near the body! No exceptions! Prosecutor's orders!
Maya and Phoenix step away from the tape.
Hey, Nick, out of curiosity, what's the law on taking things from just outside a crime scene?
Technically fair game, but you are not stealing that music box.
But, you didn't even notice that I already took it.
If we get in trouble, you're the one going to jail.
Heh heh. So, what now? Are we out of luck?
We'll figure something out. If the prosecution doesn't want us to investigate up close, they're probably hiding something that would help our case. We're going to have to bluff our butts off in court tomorrow and find out what it is.
The true Phoenix Wright way.
Phoenix elbows her playfully.
Come on, we still need to find my badge.
During their banter, Mo enters inconspicuously. He is in his full clown costume and makeup, casually smoking a cigarette with a neutral expression. As the pair heads towards the entrance to the lodging house, Maya gasps and pulls Phoenix back.
Nick, it's him!
Who?
Mo the clown! The really funny one from the show! Can we talk to him, please?
I mean, if he lives here, he might have seen something, so sure.
Maya eagerly approaches Mo. Phoenix also approaches, less eagerly.
Hi, I'm Maya, and this is Nick. We're huge fans.
And Max Galactica's defense team.
Mo instantly adopts his clown persona when he notices them, dropping his cigarette and putting it out with his heel.
Huge fans? Well, consider me blown away! No. If it was funny, it is your duty as a human being to laugh.
I'm sorry, Mo. Nick was born without a sense of humor.
Am I right in thinking that you live here?
Ding, ding, ding! Correctamundo! You've won the grand prize, this bottle of grape juice!
Mo fishes around in an oversized pocket and pulls out a small bottle of juice. He goes to hand the bottle to Phoenix, but then pulls it back at the last second.
A word of advice? Never trust a clown giving out grape juice. He always welches on giving the prize!
I'm going home.
Mo, did you see anything here last night?
No, not a thing. We had just finished practice when the murder took place. I never got home before it all happened.
Okay. Could you tell us a bit more about the victim, then?
Maybe I can tell you, if Stiff Lips here makes with the funny.
What?
He wants you to tell a joke, Nick.
I don't really...
He sees Maya and Mo looking at him expectantly.
Okay, fine. Why am I, Phoenix Wright, such a good lawyer? Because I'm right all the time.
Humiliating silence.
I promise he's trying his best.
I wouldn't let him quit his day job.
Anyway, what can you tell us about Mr. Berry?
Russell founded this here circus back in 1995. He led with generosity, integrity, and drive. He paid us out of pocket when our proceeds took a dive. For cast and crew, it's what he'd do to keep the dream alive here at the circus. It's the very big circus, and you know your friend Mo has the scoop. I won't clown around as I tell you about the folks around the dear departed leader of our little circus troupe.
He sounds like such a nice guy. Why would someone want to kill him?
Not a clue. He treated us all like family.
Speaking of family, his daughter, Regina, is she always so cheerful?
You don't know the half of it. Regina's been performing ever since she was so small. She learned to do a somersault before she learned to crawl. So maybe that's the reason when reality does call. Read my lips, she ain't equipped to handle it at all. Her world's a circus, it's the very big circus. And Regina's always been here since her youth. She's got her head in the clouds, she's our darling spacey starlet, and the daughter of the dear departed leader of our little circus troupe. That whole thing about people becoming stars, she really believes it. Has her whole life.
I didn't know the circus was so old. I only heard about it a year ago.
Hate to say it, but that's because of Max.
Hate to say it.
If he made the circus popular, shouldn't you be grateful to him?
Well, let me put it this way. Do you know what you get when you drop a piano down a mine shaft?
Ooh, I know this one. A flat minor.
Max had axed that wowed the crowd with all the latest trends. And not unlike his magic tricks, we watched our fame ascend. There's just a little issue with which we must now contend. I'm afraid his head is bigger than an elephant's rear end.
Okay, so he's a little rude. That isn't enough reason to think he would kill somebody.
No, you see, 'cause then last night we finished up our practice just a little after 10. When out of nowhere, Max just smacks our puppeteer named Ben. Russell, in a fury, called him to his office then. I don't know, 'cause our boss, he was not seen alive again.
So the last person seen with the victim was our client, who had just gotten done attacking someone else. That's not great for us.
That's the circus. It's the very big circus. A somewhat controversial group. Sometimes tensions grow when you have to do a show with the dummy and the diva who's enamored with our darling spacey starlet, who's the daughter of the dear departed leader of our little circus troupe.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
Maya, be serious.
I am serious.
Well, hi, serious. I'm Mo.
Right. So what about you, Mo? I take it you've also been with the circus for a long time?
What about me?
Oh, and nope, shouldn't have asked.
They say that comedy is tragedy plus time. But if that's the case, then I must be a riot. Nowadays, kids don't want puns and pies. I spill my guts, and yet the crowd is quiet. I have to laugh at my own jokes. Close the curtain, take a bow, that's all, folks. The last resort of a fool in decline. Knowing I can't compete with the movies and TV and video game musicals online. Because it's the circus. It's the very big circus. So welcome, willkommen, bienvenue. Enjoy the show. I hope you'll like to get to know the down on his luck clown who has to hack it with the dummy and the diva who's enamored with our darling spacey starlet, who's the daughter of the dear departed leader of our little circus troupe. Hacha!
As the song progresses, Mo leads Phoenix and Maya through the lodging house and up an elevator, ending at Acro's room. Mo momentarily breaks the fourth wall to leap off the stage in a stunt designed for a much younger man. Phoenix and Maya look around, confused at his sudden disappearance before shrugging at each other. Maya points to the name Acro on the door.
Oh, this is where Regina said Money keeps his stash.
Let's see if anyone's home.
He knocks on the door. They hear a voice call from inside.
Come in.
They enter. Scene 4. A fairly unremarkable bedroom. A pile of shiny objects, with sizes up to and including a tuba, sits in one corner. Acro sits in a wheelchair beside an open window with a blanket on his lap. He places a handful of seeds in the windowsill, and several birds land to chow down.
Sorry for the interruption. I'm Phoenix Wright, and this is my co-counsel, Maya Fey. We're Max's legal team. We were wondering if we could ask you a few questions.
Oh, of course. Pleased to meet you. My name is Ken Dingling, but here at the circus, everyone just calls me Acro.
Acro? Short for acrobat?
Yes, I used to do mainly trapeze and tightrope, but, well,
He gestures at his legs.
no one said the circus was the safest place to work.
Oh, I'm so sorry. That must have been really hard.
It certainly changed some things. But the ringmaster made sure I had what I needed and rearranged the show so that I could still perform. With significantly fewer tightropes.
It seems like the ringmaster was a really good person.
He was. He treated me like a son. Well, maybe not quite as spoiled as his daughter, but still.
Can you think of any reason someone might want to kill him?
No. He was so kind to all his performers. Too kind, really.
How about Max? Can you think of anyone who would want to frame him?
Yes.
Who?
Everyone. He didn't exactly make himself popular with his castmates.
We heard he got in a fight last night.
That was a long time coming. Max ruffled feathers with his attitude from the day he joined the circus. I'm honestly surprised it took this long to come to blows.
So what do you think of him?
I've got my issues with him as well, but you have to admit that he has something special.
Something special?
His pride as a performer. We didn't have that pride in ourselves before Max arrived. Honestly, I think he brought something wonderful to this circus when he came.
Maya, distracted by the birds, notices something outside.
Oh, hey! The crime scene is right below this window. Maybe if we get binoculars.
She squints in an attempt to do some long-distance crime scene investigation. Leaning on the windowsill, she knocks some birdseed down. There's a distant yelp from Meekins.
Ah! Whoops.
Did you happen to see anything last night?
No, I was actually at the hospital until well after dark. And that window's a bit high up, so I can't look down there at all from my chair.
Hey, Nick. Did it snow last night?
I don't think so. Why?
He joins her at the window.
Well, Russell came from there, right?
She points at a trail of footprints.
And then he was killed?
There's only one set of footprints, so where did the killer come from?
And how did they leave without leaving footprints behind?
Maybe it was a ghost.
Nick, you know that's not how it works.
Perhaps he flew away.
That is what Max is known for. Should we go ask him?
Phoenix points to the empty spot on his lapel.
First things first. Badge. Acro, is that pile of stuff all the things the monkey stole?
Yes. Money's a sweet little guy, but no matter how many times I try to reason with him, he always brings his treasures back here. Please, feel free to take anything from that pile. I don't need it, and it can be quite the hassle to get rid of.
Maya eagerly starts rummaging through the pile, finding Phoenix's badge right near the top.
Found it! I think this legally means I'm the lawyer now.
Great, there's a lot of paperwork that needs doing back at the office.
Maya hands the badge over, and Phoenix pins it to his lapel.
Okay, who's left to talk to?
Maya rifles through her notepad.
Looks like one other person. Benjamin Woodman.
You're not going to find him here. The police came to collect him hours ago.
Sounds like we'll be seeing him in court then.
Well, that's all the current members of the Berry Big Circus.
Wait, what about all those backup dancers from that song Regina did? The other acrobats, custodians, and other staff?
No. They all have alibis. Jury duty.
Makes sense. In that case, let's pay our client one more visit. Thank you for your time. This was very helpful.
I'm happy to help.
Phoenix and Maya turn to leave.
Mr. Wright.
Yeah?
Are you very certain that Max is being framed?
I have to be. When I take a client, it means I'll believe in them until the very end.
Good luck on your search, then.
Phoenix nods, and he and Maya exit. Acro returns to his birds. Lights fade. Scene 5. Lights up on the detention center, indicated by chairs separated by a pane of glass. Maya and Phoenix sit on one side looking bored. The chair on the other side of the glass sits empty.
You did tell the guard we're here for Max, right?
No, I told them I just wanted to sit in the detention center for a bit, for old time's sake.
Maya sticks her tongue out at him. A voice is heard from offstage.
Sweeties!
The one and only Maximilian Galactica enters, all glam rocket swagger. He does a bit of fourth wall breaking crowd pandering, making a show of removing his sunglasses and tossing them to a screaming fangirl. At the end of his entrance music, he sprawls on the empty chair and begins casually twirling a playing card between his fingers.
Terribly sorry to keep you waiting. I had a meeting with a big-time TV producer. I can't say the name, but let's just say you'd know them.
Oh, wow!
You didn't hear it from me, but there might be a show in the future about a certain magician's daring escape from a high-security prison cell. Isn't that just fabulous?
As your legal counsel, I'm going to say, no, not fabulous.
I mean, I think it'd be kinda cool.
Oh, I just always love meeting fans. So what is it you sweeties wanted?
Well, for starters, we need to talk to you about the other suspects. It doesn't seem like you have any fans among your castmates.
Oh, them? That's jealousy, baby. I made their crusty old performances obsolete.
What do you mean?
Listen, sweetie. The circus, it's a dinosaur, a thing of the past. No one cares what goes on there. The Very Big Circus is only fabulously popular thanks to me!
Are your magic tricks really that impressive?
Oh, don't say tricks like it's something so commonplace. I was recognized by the Association of International Magicians as the most fabuloso of fabulous. There's a diamond-encrusted, life-size bust of yours truly that says my magic is more than mere tricks.
Bust?
It's like a statue of someone from the shoulders up.
Yes, everyone was very impressed by it. They said, hey, look at the size of Maximilian Galactica's magnificent bust.
Okay, enough of that. Max, can you explain something to me? Mo told us that the last time anyone saw the Ringmaster alive, he was calling you to his office to have a very serious conversation.
Oh, don't make a mountain out of a molehill, sweetie. We just had a little chat about my salary.
Max, we know that's baloney.
Nick! Language!
You didn't meet with the Ringmaster. You were being reprimanded for assaulting a castmate. A castmate who, by the way, will be testifying against you tomorrow in court.
Testifying against me? Nonsense. The police just wanted to consult with me on matters, that's all.
Max, you do realize you've been arrested, right?
Oh, don't be ignorant. They wouldn't arrest someone like me.
Why is that?
Obviously, because I'm the fabulous Maximilian Galactica.
So?
I'm the very big star of the Very Big Circus.
And that means?
I'm rich. I'm paid fabulous sums.
Which means what?
Nick, I think you broke him.
Come on, Maya. If Max isn't interested in his own defense, maybe we shouldn't be either.
He stands to leave.
right! Please help me, I didn't kill nobody! I may be more spoiled than a hog in a hamburger mud pit, but a killer, I could never!
Max?
I swear, I just wanted to pay off my daddy's debt! He's back on the farm!
Okay, slow down. Just tell me what happened last night.
Well, I did go to the ringmaster's office with him, but honest to Betsy, we kept it civil, we really did. Me and Ben had a feud, but the ringmaster set me straight. Then he up and left, and that's the last I saw of him, honest.
Did he say where he was going?
Something about having to meet someone? I didn't think it was going to be long. Please, you gotta believe me. I'd never do anything that would hurt my sweetie pie. She's my dream.
Your dream?
Back home, things were tough. But never mind how hard we all had worked, it never was enough. I left home at 17, hoping for a place that I could go just for me.
Max, we really don't have time for a song right now. Okay.
I've heard it my whole life. Keep your nose to the grindstone, your feet firmly planted. So how I scraped and clawed and climbed to get to where magic is found. Then one day my mind started spinning when I saw her walk in, and I felt my heart falling.
Who are you guys?
And suddenly something's different. My world with her in it is so much more than I knew before. And now every moment my feet are off the ground, and I'll never let go of this feeling that I found. I've heard it my whole life, find your joy in the small things, but that's just quitter talk. No more just getting by, we're gonna have it all.
Where did they come from?
I'll work myself to the ground for a scrap of renown, or till nothing is holding me down. It's so much more than the circus, it's life with a purpose. I mean, it's clear with Regina here that now every moment my feet are off the ground, and I'll never let go of this feeling that I found. Back home, things were tough, but if I keep on working, maybe it will finally be enough so that she never sees the world that lives outside this fantasy. But now,
more backup singers.
every moment my feet are off the ground.
Are you guys getting paid?
And I'll never let go of this feeling that I found. And now every moment my feet are off the ground, and I'll never let go of this feeling that I found. A place just for us where nothing can go.
Max, a man is dead.
Yes, you're right. I must apologize for not being my absolutely fabulous self just now, sweeties. Mr. Attorney,
Yeah?
would you mind checking your left jacket pocket?
Huh?
He checks his pocket and pulls out a playing card, the Ace of Hearts, with the same back as the one Max was fiddling with.
Is this your card?
I believe that's my line, sweetie. It seems you've stolen my heart. My Ace of Hearts, that is.
Whoa! That's what it is! Nick, how'd he do that?
I don't...
I'm putting my trust in you both, sweeties.
Don't worry, Max. We'll make this an absolutely fabulous case. Come on, Nick.
Phoenix taps the glass between himself and Max, bewildered, until Maya drags him away. Lights fade. Out of the darkness, a drum roll, a voice booms out.
Welcome, one and all, to this most hallowed hall, this house of law, the courtroom. In the first ring, the Turnabout Terror and a small medium with a big heart join forces to make a defensive powerhouse pair. Put your hands together for Phoenix Wright and Maya Fey.
A spotlight on Phoenix and Maya. He looks sheepish while she waves cheerfully at the gallery.
In the second ring, she's a prosecuting prodigy, the girl with the whip who's too smart to slip. She's back again and out for revenge. Give it up for Franziska von Karma.
A spotlight on Franziska von Karma. She is standing with her arms crossed, ignoring the hullabaloo.
And finally, may I please draw your attention to the center ring. He's the king of the courtroom, the perfect presider and verdict decider. It's the one, the only.
Lights up on the courtroom, revealing the judge to be the mysterious voice.
The judge.
Your Honor, what was that?
Oh, it was my grandson's idea. He loves the circus.
The rest of the cast shrugs at each other. Makes as much sense as anything else around here. The judge switches into business mode.
Court is now in session for the trial of... No, this can't be right. It says here, Mr. Billy Bob Johns.
Yes, Your Honor, that is our client's legal name, but he goes by Max Galactica.
We'll go with that then. Seems more magical. Now, is the defense ready?
We are, Your Honor.
And the prosecution?
Of course. Hello, Mr. Phoenix Wright. I should have known. Only a fool like you would be foolish enough to work on this foolish case full of fools.
Von Karma, you're the prosecutor for this case?
I am.
So, doesn't that mean you're also working on this foolish case full of fools?
Franziska is not amused.
Listen well, Mr. Phoenix Wright. You may have bested me once before, but do not expect such luck to repeat itself. I will honor the legacy of the Von Karma name with a perfect case.
Right. Pleasure as always, Franziska.
I take it you two know her?
Yeah, we kinda put her dad in jail and beat her in a trial. And I'm not really sure which one she's more upset about.
Enough wasted time. 2 nights ago, the victim, Russell Berry, was found dead due to blunt force trauma to the head.
And what was the murder weapon?
That is something we are still determining. However, the evidence we have is more than enough to prove the defendant's guilt. My witness will now testify.
Mo emerges from behind the witness stand.
Testify? But I didn't study!
Franziska cracks her whip.
I told you that your testimony would not be required. Leave the stand at once.
But where else will I do my stand-up comedy?
Tell us a joke.
Okay, stop me if you've heard this one. A judge and a witness walk into the bar. The lawyer passes it!
Maya and the judge are loving it. Franziska, not so much. She cracks her whip again.
Objection! Go away.
Mo sulks off.
Now my actual witness will testify. I call Mr. Benjamin Woodman to the stand.
Ben takes the stand, flanked by 3 clowns in striped vests and straw boater hats.
State your name for the court and tell us what you saw.
Ben Woodman. I was there, and I saw Max.
That's it?
Clear, concise, a perfect testimony.
We can't find contradictions if there's nothing to contradict. Aren't performers supposed to be more outgoing?
Maybe it's different when the puppet does the talking for you.
They both have the same terrible, stupid idea.
We can't.
Can't we?
We can try. Your Honor, the defense would like to call another witness.
But you barely spoke to this one.
No, it's Okay, the defense calls
He checks Maya's notes.
Trillo Quist to the stand.
Well, it's about dang time.
Ben ducks under the witness stand, pulls out Trillo Quist, now unexplainably played by a human actor, and perches him on his lap.
Oh, I tell ya, having to hear this buffoon try to testify was more torture than termites.
That's not very nice, Trillo.
Oh, well, you shut up, you big-nosed dope.
Trillo, please. I raised you to be a good puppet.
Hold it! That's not a puppet, that's just another person!
What are you talking about, Mr. Phoenix Wright? That's a puppet.
Yeah, Nick, it's a puppet.
It's a puppet. And he may testify.
Yeah, kids, listen to Baldy over here. It's time for a testimony by a world-class tenor. Waiting by the gate just a minute after practice. I know who everyone coming down the path is, and the ugly fact is the only one who went by when the old man got whacked is in the defendant's chair.
That's where Max is.
Living our lives preoccupied with this thing you call showbiz. How could we know there was a killer right under our noses? Oh, every night hogging the spotlight, thinking we won't notice his gaudy hat, his showy cloak, and hideous white roses. Hat, roses, and cloak, a sort of modus operandi. A smoking gun, that hat was one of a kind, but he left it behind for us to find the perp red handy. Might as well have left an autograph that he signed.
Max Galactica is easily recognizable by his 3 signature costume pieces, one of which we found at the crime scene.
I see. Mr. Wright, no cross-examination.
Okay, why don't you start by telling me why you were standing out in the cold?
I was waiting for Russell when I saw what I witnessed.
And what did you want to discuss?
Well, it was none ya.
What?
None ya business.
Trillo, loitering by a crime scene is awfully suspicious.
Okay, don't get your tie all in a bunch.
I'm not paid enough for this.
I'm asking after the ringmaster for a conversation. Since Max attacked me, do I get some work as compensation? I might demand that he get canned to stop more altercations, but then poor us didn't show up.
Hold it. Your Honor, did you hear that?
Yes, that was the most impressive ventriloquism act I've ever seen.
No, he said that Max was the only person he saw go by. So how did Mr. Barry end up at the crime scene?
Perhaps he arrived before the puppet.
Then anyone else could have done the same. This testimony means nothing.
Okay, hold on. I have more to say. I actually also saw the moment of the murder.
You what?
I saw the moment of the murder. Well, I sort of saw the moment when the murder maybe did or didn't happen, but I think it did.
Trillo.
Okay, so maybe what I saw was not the moment of the murder, but the moment when he fled the scene at which his crime was hid. And okay, maybe it was dark and just a little hard to see, and I don't quite know where he went, but I can swear I saw him flee.
Then why were there no footprints?
No footprints in the snow, that's true. You're gonna think I'm lying, but when I said he fled, I mean he flew.
Ah. And who in this courtroom is known for flying?
Objection! And I can't believe I have to say this. People can't fly.
Then how did the culprit flee, Mr. Phoenix Wright? You said it yourself, there were no footprints. What other explanation could there be?
I saw him flying, no denying, because I saw both his gaudy hat and his showy cloak.
Both?
Hat, roses, and cloak are just the clothes of an assassin. Can't run away, it's plain as day. All the signs of his crimes against humanity and fashion. Silk and satin can't combat a twisted mind.
Roses and cloak are all the trappings of a villain.
The perilous apparel mark and the horrible heart of our darling Maximilian. And don't even get me started on his shoes.
While certainly unusual, I'll admit this testimony is incriminating.
Ready to admit defeat, Mr. Phoenix Wright?
Hardly. Your Honor, the witness said he saw my client fly away with 2 symbols, a hat and cloak. But, as I have been told multiple times, Max has 3 signature symbols. So why didn't he see the 3rd symbol, the white roses?
Hey! I saw what I saw! If I say the roses weren't there, they weren't there.
Furthermore, if the culprit fled the scene wearing the one-of-a-kind signature hat, how is the prosecution currently holding it in her hand?
Francisca's smug smile fades.
Now, either the witness is mistaken about what he saw,
I'm not, you big turd!
or he didn't see it at all. Because maybe this witness was the real killer.
The crowd chatters excitedly. Maya looks at Phoenix and mouths, "Really?" He responds with a shrug.
Mr. Wright, I should come to expect this from you at this point, but that is a serious allegation. What evidence do you have for your claim?
I have just as much evidence as Miss Von Karma has against my client. She's trying to use a hat and this truly unbelievable testimony to place my client at the scene of the crime when the witness, by his own admission, was also there. This at least deserves further investigation.
The judge contemplates this.
I agree with the defense. I can't make a ruling under these circumstances. I order both sides to gather further evidence. Court is adjourned until tomorrow.
Everyone exits except Phoenix, Maya, and Max.
Max, level with me here. Did you go to the lodging house that night?
Absolutely not, sweetie. I was in the ringmaster's room until the police showed up.
So, no flying then?
I can't just fly wherever I please. It's not that easy.
Okay, what about your hat? How did that end up at the scene?
I couldn't tell you. The last time I saw it, I had hung it up on the coat rack in the ringmaster's room.
That means the only person who could have taken it was Russell.
Maybe the ringmaster took his costume and went out looking like Max? And that's why Ben thought he saw him?
Fabulous! That's a fabulously possible possibility! However, sweetie, why would the ringmaster want to dress up like me? Isn't that a bit strange? And all they found at the crime scene was my silk hat. What about my cloak? Where did that go?
Double
Regina enters.
Max, there you are! The show is so exciting today.
The show?
Sweetie pie! Thank you,
Meekins enters, interrupting.
Excuse me, sir! I need to bring the defendant back to his holding cell! Sir!
Bye, Max. We'll get to the bottom of this, I promise.
Max and Meekins exit.
It was so neat to see him and Trillo up there.
Speaking of Trillo, Regina, he isn't the world-class tenor you were talking about, was he? You do realize he's a puppet, right?
And really more like a mezzo-soprano.
You think? I think he has a lot of his own opinions.
No, Regina. I mean literally.
Oh, that. Yeah, I know. Isn't that so funny?
Funny?
It's like something out of a storybook. The princess and the puppet.
But what about Max?
Max? Well, Max is different.
Maya smiles knowingly and turns back to Phoenix.
Where to now, boss?
We should visit the ringmaster's room. Maybe we can find some clues about why Russell would take Max's hat.
Daddy's room? I can take you there.
Oh, that's okay. I'm sure we can
Lead
find...
on, Regina.
The two girls leave arm in arm, with Phoenix trailing behind. Scene 7. Russell's office is decorated wall to wall with 20 years' worth of posters advertising the circus. Max's cloak with white roses pinned to it hangs on a coat rack by the door. On the desk, there's a picture of Russell and Regina.
Here we are, Daddy's office.
And Max's cloak is here, with white roses still attached.
But no hat. So the ringmaster really did take it. Why?
Do you think I could try it on?
That's probably not the best
Sure.
Maya hears what she wants to and dons the cloak. She poses and Regina claps.
You look fabulous! You could be a real magician.
Maya gives a twirl, knocking over the trash can in the process, spilling the contents.
Oops.
She sheepishly returns the cloak to the rack as Phoenix and Regina begin picking up the scattered papers. Regina reads one.
Hey, this is my name.
She picks up another.
This one too. Why did Daddy have letters to me in his trash?
Maya picks one up and reads.
Regina, my love for you knows no bounds. I've decided we'll have a spring wedding. You'll look so beautiful among the freshly bloomed flowers, and I simply can't wait to make you mine. Love, your secret admirer. You have a secret admirer?
I don't think so. There was someone, but he's been gone for a while now.
Any chance he wrote a note like this?
No, I don't think so.
Phoenix reads another.
My darling Regina, I want you to touch me. I want you to kiss me. I want you to... Okay, nope, yikes, definitely not.
He puts it in the garbage.
It seems like your dad was throwing out your creepy fan mail before it got to you.
Why would he do that?
I'd assume to protect you.
Protect me?
She picks up another one to read it.
Regina.
She looks puzzled.
I'm so tired of hearing your stupid voice every time I go to the circus. They should have you shoveling the animal dung instead.
Maya pats her on the back and trashes the letter for her.
Creepy letters and mean letters from people who are dumb and wrong.
Regina picks up another, reads it in shock, and slams it quickly back on the ground, face down. Maya, curious, picks it up.
Regina, you're the reason that poor boy died. I hope the same thing happens to you. What do they mean? Did someone else die?
Regina shakes her head, emphatically.
No. No. They're confused. He became a star. That's all. Anyway, I just remembered it's Regent's dinner time, so I gotta go.
Regina, wait!
She ignores him, exiting quickly and taking the letters she was holding with her. Phoenix and Maya puzzle over the letter that she left behind.
Someone died? And it was Regina's fault?
If we believe that letter.
Why didn't anyone tell us?
Suddenly, Mo emerges inexplicably, yet solemnly, from a wardrobe.
Russell didn't want us to talk about it. He tried his best to keep what happened from becoming a spectacle.
Wait, were you in there this whole time?
No, of course not. Maybe it was easier for everyone to just pretend it never happened. When your life's all show tunes and stardust, you forget who you are and what you're capable of. The act becomes your life, and life becomes your act.
Mo picks up the picture of Russell and Regina on the desk.
But Russell never lost sight of reality. We needed him for that. It's what held us together as a family.
He gives the photo one more look before setting it down.
I guess it's my turn now to face the truth.
What happened here, Mo?
Mo sighs and gestures to one of the posters on the wall, featuring the smiling duo of Bat and Acro.
He was the youngest member of the troupe. Acro's brother, Sean. We called him Bat. He and Acro were an incredible team, cut down at the same time.
And was he... Did Regina really...
No, not like that. 6 months ago, there was an accident involving Regina's lion, Leon. I told her so many times to be more careful, that her act was too dangerous. But who would listen to a washed-up old clown when you have the magic of the whole circus at your fingertips?
So the lion attacked and Bat, he died?
No, but I'm not surprised that people think that. He's been in a coma for the past 6 months. and we don't know if he'll ever wake up. Acro tried to jump in and save him, and now his legs will likely never recover.
And Regina?
Hey, Regina! Look what I can do!
The animals were her responsibility, but in the end, it was an accident. That's all.
Lights fade. Scene 8. Lights up on the detention center where Max is now the one waiting. After a moment, he hears the door open.
Well, it's about time, sweet...
He pauses, seeing his unexpected visitor, Acro.
Oh, it's you.
Hello, Max.
What are you doing here?
Acro. I came to apologize.
Apologize?
This whole thing. This trial. You don't deserve it.
Well, finally, someone is speaking sense in this place. At least you know that a fabulous performer such as myself couldn't have done such a heinous act.
Can I know that? It's not like you gave any of us a real chance to get to know you.
Well, that's all part of the job.
How so?
Fame necessitates a certain distance, you understand.
So, Max Galactica is afraid to let people get to know Billy Bob Johns.
Don't be absurd! I am Max Galactica! What you see is what you get, baby.
Well, let me tell you what I see. I see you talking down to the rest of the performers, even though they're the reason you get to perform in the first place. Extorting the ringmaster out of almost every cent the circus makes. All while fawning over the animal tamer, like she hung the moon and stars.
My sweetie pie princess is a star, just like yours truly.
That's all you have to say.
What should I say? I brought this failing show back from mediocrity, and I'm paid what I'm due. I don't see the problem.
I see. That's all I need to know, then.
He turns to leave.
I'm not surprised, but I am disappointed.
Max stands suddenly.
Wait! Acro!
Acro pauses and looks over his shoulder.
How is Bat doing?
The same.
He exits. Max sits back in his chair, looking contemplative. Lights fade. Scene 9. The crowd files in as Phoenix and Maya stand together, waiting for court to convene. Max enters.
Good morning, Max.
Oh, yeah. Good morning, sweeties.
You don't seem like your usual sparkling self today.
I'm always like this before I go in front of an audience. I'm working up to it.
Regina and Mo enter. Regina appears to be her usual bubbly self. Max perks up considerably when he sees her.
Don't be nervous, Max. We came to see your show again today.
How fabulous! My sweetie pie princess! Oh, you came to watch?
Of course I did. Uncle Mo told me that I should come and watch this.
Mo said that?
So, Maya, I had a great idea.
Huh?
If you can talk to ghosts, why don't you just use your magic to ask my dad what happened?
Oh, sorry, Regina. There are certain rules I'm supposed to follow, and I can't just...
But he's around here, right? He's a star.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, goody. Well, it looks like it's time to raise the curtain. I'll see you all later. Today, I'm just a member of the audience.
Fabulous! Enjoy yourself out there!
Good luck, Max. You're the best.
She turns to leave, but Maya stops her.
Wait, Regina, are you doing all right?
Yeah, of course. Why wouldn't I be?
She leaves and joins the crowd.
Are you sure it's a good idea for Regina to be here?
She needs to be. Regina isn't a child anymore. I may be an old-fashioned clown, but I know that everything has consequences.
You're looking out for her.
Listen, kid. When you've bombed as many times as I have, you better have something more than balloon animals to care about at the end of the day.
He joins Regina in the crowd. Ben enters, carrying Trillo, still in human form, bridal style.
It looks like everyone came out to support you, Max. Look, even Ben and Trillo are here.
Hearing his name, Ben stops and turns around.
Are you sure it's support, sweetie?
If it were up to me, we wouldn't be here. But the big lug just has to drag me everywhere.
Ben, after my talk with the ringmaster, I never got the chance. I'm mighty sorry for hitting you.
Trillo crosses his arms and looks away.
Yeah, well, apology not accepted. You've been a real pain in my wooden keister since you showed up to my circus, and I'd smack you one right now if I could. And another thing,
Trillo cuts off and goes limp as Ben places him on a seat in the crowd. He turns to Max.
It's okay.
He takes the seat next to Trillo. The rest of the performers file into the crowd. Regina gives a cheerful wave to Max, while Mo beside her looks grim. Francisca enters, and she, Phoenix, and Maya take their places. The judge enters and bangs his gavel.
Court is now in session for the trial of Maximilian Galactica. Yesterday, the defense raised some suspicion about the witness who claimed to see the defendant fly away from the scene of the crime. Has the prosecution prepared a response?
Of course. The prosecution will corroborate the previous testimony.
Meaning?
We have discovered a new witness, one who also saw Maximilian Galactica fly off from the scene of the crime.
The crowd murmurs excitedly. Phoenix and Maya look at each other with alarm.
Order! Order! I had a feeling something like this would happen.
As for the flight itself, we have consulted with the Association of International Magicians and are convinced that such a feat is possible.
Well, I'd like to hear an explanation.
Your Honor, surely you wouldn't force a magician to reveal their tricks and betray the magician's code?
Of course not. Let's hear from your witness.
I can't believe she got away with that one.
I guess that's the magic of being prosecutor.
Acro enters and takes his place near the witness stand.
Wait, why's Acro testifying?
Name and occupation?
Ken Dingling. But everyone calls me Acro. I'm employed as an acrobat at the Berry Big Circus.
And where were you the night of the crime?
I was in my room on the 3rd floor. The crime scene is below my window.
Hold it! You told us yesterday that you were at the hospital until late that night.
Oh, I actually said, well after dark, which is fairly early in December. I was lying in bed just after 10 p.m. when I heard a loud thump. Then a few moments later, I saw someone flying right past my window. It was Max Galactica. I only saw him from behind, but that's who it looked like.
And why didn't you come forward with this testimony sooner?
I know I should have, but to be honest, until I heard Ben and Trillo yesterday, I thought I had just been dreaming.
In any other circumstance, a reasonable reaction to seeing a flying man, wouldn't you agree?
Okay, but what makes you certain it was Max who you saw?
I can't be sure, I guess. But it was his silhouette, with the cloak and a hat.
But it couldn't have been. Yesterday we established that the flying culprit left his hat behind.
Maybe he dropped it.
Did you see him drop it?
No, but if you'll recall, I can't see anything below my window, so I might have missed it.
That's all?
That's all.
Does the defense have any further thoughts on this testimony?
Yes, Your Honor. Something doesn't add up here. Yesterday we thought that the only other people at the crime scene were the ventriloquist and his puppet. But now the witness admits that he was there too.
Objection! Mr. Dingling was there, 3 floors up. There may have been no footprints in the snow, but there weren't any tire tracks from his chair either. Unless you're suggesting the witness killed someone without having ever left his room. Allow me to summarize. The prosecution has demonstrated with 2 witnesses and physical evidence that Max Galactica was at the scene of the crime. Given his proficiency as a magician, he is more than capable of executing the murder and subsequent escape from the scene. And finally, the victim was last seen having a private conversation with the defendant after the latter attacked one of his fellow performers. Whatever that private conversation entailed, we can assume Max Galactica did not take kindly to it. Means, motive, opportunity. In other words, a perfect case. Meanwhile, the defense would have us suspect this witness because he was in a building nearby. Am I missing anything, Mr. Phoenix Wright?
Of course. We need to consider, Ben and Trillo. They're still—
Means, motive, opportunity. Without all 3, you have no killer. Whereas I have everything I need.
She bows.
Your Honor, I think it's time to bring this show to a close.
The judge nods thoughtfully.
Come on, Nick! You've got this!
Okay, I just need a second to think.
The lights suddenly lower, with a spotlight on Phoenix. He looks around, confused. A circus performer, half disguised as a bailiff, nudges Phoenix to center stage. An announcer calls from the darkness.
Esteemed members of the court, the Berry Big Circus is proud to present Phoenix Thinking!
What? What's going on?
I was recognized by the Association of International Magicians as the most fabuloso of the fabulous. There's a diamond-encrusted life-size bust of yours truly that says my magic is more than mere tricks.
Money and I aren't really on friendly terms. He steals my costumes. And anything else that's shiny. He's got a big stash he keeps in Afro's room.
Maya, are you seeing this? Maya?
Oh, hey! The crime scene is right below this window. Maybe if we get binoculars.
Hey! I saw what I saw. If I say the roses weren't there, they weren't there.
Diamond-encrusted bust.
The roses weren't there.
Below this window. A stash in Afro's room.
We're not stealing that music box. I've got it.
Lights up, revealing Phoenix standing alone in the middle of the courtroom. Everyone else is back in their places, looking perfectly mundane.
Yes, Mr. Wright?
He returns to the defense bench, a bit embarrassed.
The defense intends to definitively prove how this flying murder really took place.
The crowd excitedly chatters.
In yesterday's testimony, we heard that a figure flew straight up from the crime scene towards, we now know, Acro's room. Ben and Trillo said they saw Max Galactica, but it wasn't him.
Then who was it?
Not who. What? Earlier this year, my client won an award from the Association of International Magicians. The trophy? A life-sized, diamond-encrusted bust of the winner. If you draped it in something like a bedsheet, you'd have a pretty convincing Max Galactica, complete with hat and cloak, except, as Ben and Trillo saw, no white roses.
The crowd murmurs affirmingly.
To kill with it would be pretty simple. Just drop it onto the victim from a high place, like a 3rd-story window, and pull it up with a rope. And there's one person here with both the upper body strength and the right window to do it.
The crowd turns to Acro. He looks totally unbothered.
And you're saying I was able to steal that large trophy and sneak it back to my room without being noticed?
You didn't have to. It was hand-delivered to your doorstep by a thieving monkey who loves shiny things.
This is the most absurd, outlandish—
Even if that is possible, how could I have done the rest of it? I couldn't have known when the ringmaster was standing there. I can't look out that window. Certainly not while lifting something heavy. If I were a second too fast or slow, I would have missed entirely.
You couldn't look, but could you hear?
What?
Maya produces the music box with a magician's flourish.
Ta-da! One It's Time to Murder alarm.
We found this at the scene of the crime.
He takes the music box from Maya, opening it to let a few notes play before closing it again.
Acro, you dropped this on the ground directly outside your window. Then, all you had to do was wait for somebody to pick it up and open it. You'd know the exact where and when. Well, Miss Von Karma? Enough of a means and opportunity for you?
But then what motive could he possibly have, you fool?
Yes, I'm quite interested in hearing why the witness would do all of this.
Oh, we've got an explanation for that. Right?
The ringmaster was the kindest man I've ever known. He was paying my brother's medical expenses. I had no reason to want to kill him.
Phoenix has finally run out of ideas. After a pause, Regina stands up from the crowd.
That's because you weren't trying to kill Daddy, were you, Acro?
She makes her way down to the courtroom floor. Meekins goes to intercept and trips.
He was trying to kill me.
Young lady, what is the meaning of this?
Regina reads aloud from one of the letters she took.
To the murderer. I have evidence of what happened 6 months ago. Meet me in front of the lodging house at 10:15 p.m. exactly. Come alone. This letter was supposed to go to me. Acro wanted me to be the one standing there.
You? A murderer? What do you mean?
Bat. He's gone. And he's not coming back. Like Daddy.
Maya gives Regina a comforting hug while Phoenix begins fitting the final pieces together.
6 months ago, there was an incident involving Regina's lion. As a result, Acro was injured and his brother was left comatose.
I know what you're implying, and you're a fool. Miss Regina Berry is an animal tamer by trade, but no tamed animal in that position is ever trained to attack another human. They wouldn't understand the command. The boy is the victim of an accident, not attempted murder.
Francisca, would that make a difference to someone who lost their little brother?
Francisca, with a pained expression, relents.
Acro, you snuck this letter into Regina's fan mail, didn't you? But you didn't count on how protective Russell was as a father. He intercepted the letter and decided to go confront the writer. He even borrowed Max's hat so that they wouldn't know he was the one approaching. You couldn't have planned it better. Ben and Trillo, seeing Russell from a distance, assumed they were seeing Max approaching the scene of the crime. Max's hat was knocked off Russell's head by the bust, and when you pulled it up, Ben and Trillo saw Max fly. With Max's infamy within the troupe, everyone found it all too easy to believe he was the culprit. Is that why you framed him? Or when the monkey arrived with the bust, was the opportunity just too good to pass up?
Mr. Wright, unfortunately, your imagination is not enough to find me guilty of murder.
What do you mean by that?
The letter, the music box, the lion. I see where you're going, but it's a bit hard to swallow. Not to mention the fact that there's an even bigger problem with your theory.
What would that problem be?
The same problem it's always been. Evidence. If I dropped Max's bust on top of the ringmaster, where is the evidence that proves that claim?
We found no such item at the scene, or in the witness's room for that matter.
Since the police arrived, no one has been able to leave the circus grounds, meaning Acro had no opportunity to get rid of the bust.
So you admit to having no evidence?
No, there's one more place that it could be. Somewhere only a performer used to putting his life on the line would think of.
Where, Mr. Wright?
Acro, could you please remove the blanket from your wheelchair?
Acro's smile drops, and he looks down forlornly.
Well done, Mr. Wright. Masterfully played.
He moves the blanket aside, revealing the bust. He lifts it onto the evidence table.
It seems as if we've arrived at the truth, Acro?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you kill the ringmaster of the Berry Big Circus, Mr. Russell Berry?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm responsible for that crime.
He wheels over to the defense's bench and picks up the music box. After a moment of reflection, he opens it.
He was gonna give this to her, you know? Saved up all his spare money to get her a gift. He was just a boy with a crush. He used to do whatever he could to get Regina's attention. I don't know what gave him the idea, but one day he decided to do one of her tricks. If I can put my head inside Leon's mouth like you do, you have to go to the movies with me on a date. That's what he said. Regina believed in Leon. She believed so strongly that the ringmaster went along. He could never say no to her. But I guess that Leon wasn't ready or willing this time. Because when Bat went to do the trick, Leon bit down. He was the only family I had. I'd do anything to protect him. But I turned my back for 1 second. I know she didn't want anything bad to happen. I know this. But I just couldn't forgive her. No matter what. What am I truly guilty of? I'm guilty of never, ever being able to understand her. Your brother became a star. Regina believed that so purely that she would laugh innocently while saying it. Too innocently. I just couldn't stand it. No matter how hard I tried.
So you're saying you're a victim in all of this too?
No. I'm nothing but a murderer.
Lights fade. Scene 10. Lights up outside the Big Top. Phoenix and Maya enter.
I just don't see why you couldn't have mailed us the check like a normal person.
Since when has Max Galactica done anything like a normal person?
Still, it's a little sad being back here, knowing everything that happened.
As they enter the Big Top, they find circus performers stretching, chatting, and practicing their routines. The atmosphere is lively.
Jugglers! I've always wanted to learn how to juggle. I'll be right back.
She rushes over to talk to the performers, leaving Phoenix standing alone. Mo approaches him.
Well, if it isn't Mr. Right all the time.
I'm surprised to see you all back at practice this soon.
Well, we talked about it, and the cast, the crew, everyone. We want to keep the circus going. It's the best way we know to honor Russell's memory.
The show must go on?
Life must go on. If you're looking for it, you'll find tragedy and heartbreak wherever you turn. Acro showed us how easy it is to lose yourself in it. So if you find a little joy in this world, you embrace it. If the joke's funny, you laugh.
On cue, Maya laughs as she fails spectacularly to juggle. Phoenix can't help but chuckle.
It's when times are hardest that clowns must be at their silliest. If our little show can bring a smile or two to this world, we've done our jobs, and I haven't forgotten that you've done yours. Put her there, kid.
He holds out his hand for a handshake, not even trying to conceal the fact that he's holding a whoopee cushion. Phoenix shakes his head with a smile and takes Mo's hand. The handshake and resulting fart sound last a good 10 seconds.
Now, if you'll excuse me.
He grabs a top hat and cane, the same ones we saw Russell with at the beginning of the show. He claps a couple of times to get everyone's attention and then begins directing the group.
Places, everyone. We're taking it from the top. The big top, that is.
Maya returns to Phoenix's side.
Whew! That's way harder than it looks.
Oh no, what are people going to think of us? A legal defense team that can't even juggle.
Ben, Trillo, and Max enter.
Now the key is to keep your core tight or you'll flip right over. Ready? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3!
Trillo lifts up on his tiptoes as he and Ben stumble to the side of the stage. The human Trillo exits to the wings and the puppet Trillo, carried by a tall stagehand, emerges. The puppet flies across the stage.
Whoa! Look at me! I'm flying! Soaring angelically to match my angelic singing voice. Me, 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 me! Ah!
He loses his balance and careens off stage. Ben puts a hand on Max's shoulder.
Thanks.
He exits. Maya and Phoenix approach.
Whoa! Did you teach Trillo to fly?
Yes, well, since his act is so outdated, it only makes sense for me to help elevate his performance to my level.
It's good to see you working with the other performers, Max.
If you can believe it, sitting friendless and alone in a prison cell for several days can make you rethink some things.
I take it you're staying with the circus, then?
The clown keeps insisting that this is going to be the best circus ever, and the best circus ever requires the best magician ever. So I have to stay.
You can just say you like it here.
Regina enters. When she sees Phoenix and Maya, she rushes over.
Oh, Maya! Mr. Right! I'm glad you're here. I didn't get a chance to say thank you.
She gives them both a big hug.
Thank you both so much! Thanks to you, Max gets to stay with the circus. And Maya, thank you for being my first friend who doesn't walk on all fours.
After a moment, Maya sobers a bit.
So, how are you doing?
Me? Oh, I'm great! No. I don't know.
That makes sense. You've been through a lot.
Acro, he wasn't a bad person, but he did something so terrible. I don't understand what I did to make him change.
You didn't make him do anything. Acro was hurting a lot, but he chose what to do with that hurt.
Maya's right. This wasn't your fault.
Still, I don't want to be someone who goes around hurting people without even noticing. That's why I've decided. I'm leaving the circus.
What?
Phoenix, Maya, and Max are all taken aback.
Sweetie Pie, are you serious?
Regina nods.
But I'll miss you. You're the wind beneath my wings. My dream come true.
Regina shakes her head and takes his hands in hers.
Your dream is here. You live your dream every night when you dazzle the audience. I think I'm just one part of that show.
That doesn't mean you have to go. What's left for me to say? I'm here begging you to stay. Soar above the shooting stars. Ignore the world below.
You belong in front of a crowd, but I've spent too long with my head in the clouds. So for now I have
Please
to
don't go.
I can't live my life here as a child forever, smile and sing at centering and soak in the applause. Now it's all become clear. Looking at the choice before me, stay entranced in Wonderland or take the chance to understand more.
The world isn't kind, dear, isn't like here. It's dark and mean and cold.
And that's why I have to go. Try to understand. I know this isn't how the fairy tale goes, but I need to discover who I am after the curtains close. Don't know where this path will lead, but I know my heart is finally free. Regina beyond the theater, I can't wait for you to meet her.
I have spent my life here, chasing happy ever after, but you deserve for me to learn to walk before I
Though my heart is falling, I'll look beyond my own dreams.
Wake up to the world around me, find out what I can become. But now this is goodbye.
Till we meet again.
To do better
Don't forget
for the someone I adore. I hope you can love who I become even more.
One more trial in the books, another client off the hook. Trust in Wright & Co. to steal the show and save the day.
As we fight through every case, sometimes the truth is hard to face. Together we will find a way.
Thank you for
Try not to cry.
guiding the journey I've begun. Join me one more time on stage
To take my final bow.
I know I will make mistakes, but I'll keep trying as long as it takes.
But I swear
hope
I'll
I can make you proud.
As the instrumental fades, circus performers begin clearing props and striking the set, an inverse of their motions in the overture. In a final tableau, Regina sits by the bedside of a young boy, Bat, as a music box plays. Lights fade. No one claps for you, even when you don't fall.
Do they notice at all the tightrope that you walk?
We're here every night and twice for matinees.
All while you can go your separate ways.
Pack up your things at the end of the show.
Hold my hand as you go back to the mundane world.
Out there you're not a king, a fool, or star.
You don't know how lucky you are.
So go on, start a new page. When you need us, we'll be here on the stage.
Tomorrow we'll paint on a smile again.
and sing what can't be said.
So go on, leave us behind.
We'll be waiting here to see what you will find.
Through sorrow, through joys and hopes and dread.
Go sing what can't be said.
And we'll sing